Germans began migrating to Texas in the mid-1800s, and I imagine that among many culture shocks, there had to have been weather shocks as well. As you know, Texas is a lot more hot than Germany. But one of the things they've had to adjust to was the lack of surplus in Texas. Back in the 1800s, Texas was still very wild and rustic. One of the things Germans had to adjust to was eating beef instead of pork. So they began making schnitzel out of beef, and they would pound it down flat and then bread it the same way that they would and make what we now know as chicken fried steak. So that's the origins of chicken fried steak, as well as chicken fried everything. Texans adopted chicken fried, meaning the way that you fry chicken, which is battered. Today we're going to be making chicken fried chicken, or chicken schnitzel, or as I just like to call it, chicken. And I'm going to be battering it in the schnitzel way with, instead of using just flour and egg, I'm going to be using flour, egg, and then breadcrumbs. In addition to that, I'm going to be making some rustic mashed potatoes. Rustic being, I'm using yellow potatoes and I'm leaving most of the skin on. To boil it, I'm going to throw some garlic in with it, and then I'm just going to mash it with a fork and add a whole bunch of butter. So those rustic potatoes. I'm also going to be making my family's favorite, green beans that are sauteed with onions and bacon. You're going to love this. To start with, I have 3 chicken breast fillets that have been cut in half. I'm going to start by marinating them in a little bit of lime juice. You can use lemon juice. I just happen to have lime, but I do like the citrus flavor to these. And I'm only going to do 1/2 of the chicken because these are fillets. They're very thin, so they don't need seasoning on both sides. And then I'm going to add some sea salt, as well as some freshly ground pepper. The green beans have been rinsed, and I like to cut these on the bias. You don't have to, I just kind of like the way they look. And I'm cutting the onions super thin. For breading the chicken, I have a traditional 3-step that I'm going to be using. The first one is a combination of panko and fresh breadcrumbs that I've made. There's also some flour that I'm just going to be seasoning with salt. And there's a bowl of eggs that I'm beating, and I'll be adding some milk to that for the middle step. For the chicken, you'll need to coat each chicken breast first in this salted flour mixture. And you want to be careful to get flour in all the nooks and crannies. And then we're going to be dunking this into the egg and milk mixture, making sure to coat it well there as well. And then you're going to coat it in the breadcrumb mixture. And you'll just want to repeat this process for each of the chicken breasts. And here are the beautiful breaded chicken cutlets ready to go into the oil. I also have the potatoes that I've chopped with some of the skins on, and I'm adding a little bit of fresh garlic directly into the water, and I'm going to boil these for probably the duration of the cooking. Now I'm going to be adding some bacon into a skillet, and I want to cook this just until they're brown so that they can render the fat, and then I'm going to remove the bacon. I've heated up about an inch or a half inch of oil into a skillet, and now I'm going to be adding the breaded cutlets one at a time into the oil, turning once. And on the back skillet, I have sauteed the thinly sliced onions into the bacon grease, and now I'm going to be adding the green beans in with them. And then once these have cooked for just a few minutes, I'm going to put a lid on and let them steam. The green beans are now partially tender. I'm going to turn the heat off and add the crumbled bacon in with those. You can see I'm on my third cutlet.